There are moments in life that transcend fame, language, and even faith. Moments that pierce the heart and awaken something deep within us all. One such moment occurred when Angelina Jolie, a world-renowned actress and humanitarian, sat down with a young Muslim girl whose life had been torn apart by war and injustice. The cameras were rolling, but this was no scripted scene. As the girl spoke softly about her pain, her fears, and the loss she had endured, Jolie couldn't hold back her tears. It was raw, real, and deeply human. In that instant, the world saw not just a celebrity, but a heart breaking in front of a child who had already lost too much. Millions watched that clip and found themselves crying too, not because they shared the same religion, background, or beliefs, but because they shared the same human soul. The tears of a Muslim child held the same weight as any other, and Jolie's reaction reminded people across the globe of the empathy still alive within us. It wasn't about politics, it wasn't about headlines, it was about truth. The truth that pain has no borders and love needs no language. This story is more than just a moment, it's a message. A message that the world can't afford to ignore. The cries of the innocent, no matter who they are. It's about remembering that even in the noise of the world, the quiet tears of one girl can move hearts across continents. And sometimes, all it takes is one sincere response, one tear, to wake millions. It began as another humanitarian visit. Angelina Jolie, in her role as UNHCR Special Envoy, met with refugees and displaced families. But no one expected what would happen when she sat down with a young Muslim girl whose life had been shattered by war. The girl, soft-spoken and fragile, began to share her story. She spoke not with bitterness, but with heartbreaking honesty. She had lost family members, seen her home destroyed, and lived each day with uncertainty and fear. As she spoke, the strength behind her pain was impossible to ignore. Angelina listened closely, her expression changing from sympathy to deep sorrow. Then, the moment came. Her eyes welled up with tears. She tried to stay composed, but the girl's innocence and suffering overwhelmed her. Her tears weren't just for the child in front of her. They were for every child whose voice had gone unheard. That moment was captured on video, and it resonated with millions. It wasn't a scene for publicity, it was a real human connection between a global figure and a forgotten victim of conflict. It was a reminder that pain unites us, and that no child, Muslim or otherwise, deserves to suffer in silence. The story behind the girl's tears was one that reflects the silent tragedies faced by thousands across war-torn regions. She wasn't just a statistic. She was a daughter, a sister, a child with dreams, now shattered by violence and loss. Her village had been bombed, her father was taken, and she and her remaining family were forced to flee with nothing but fear in their hearts. Her eyes held memories too heavy for someone so young. Yet she spoke without anger, just a quiet, haunting sadness that touched anyone who heard her. Angelina Jolie, known for witnessing pain around the world, was visibly shaken. Despite her experience, nothing could prepare her for the raw vulnerability of this child. It was a reminder that every number in a report is a human soul with a story. The girl's resilience in the face of tragedy wasn't just admirable, it was a cry for help, a plea to be seen, to be remembered. This wasn't just one girl's pain, it was the pain of countless Muslim children whose stories rarely reached the spotlight. Through that one conversation, the world got a glimpse into the unseen suffering. And for a moment, humanity looked inward and felt what it had long ignored. When the footage of Angelina Jolie crying went public, it struck a nerve around the world. People of all backgrounds, Muslim and non-Muslim alike, shared the video, commented with heartbreak, and reflected on a reality often overlooked. The image of a global icon breaking down in front of a silent, suffering child became more than just a clip. It became a mirror to the world's conscience. In that short exchange, people were reminded that suffering doesn't belong to one group. It belongs to humanity. Social media lit up with emotions. Thousands wrote messages of support, many admitting they had never seen this side of the refugee crisis before. It wasn't statistics or news reports that moved them. It was a moment of real emotion. Jolie's sincerity, her inability to hold back tears, made people feel what numbers could never express. It gave a face and a voice to the invisible pain so many Muslim children endure. That viral moment created waves of compassion, sparking conversations in homes, schools, and even government halls. It showed that one powerful moment of empathy can awaken millions. When hearts are touched, change can begin. And in that shared cry, the world remembered its own humanity. Angelina Jolie's emotional moment didn't just reveal her personal compassion, it broke the illusion that the world is divided by faith, race, or status when it comes to human pain. Her tears crossed all boundaries. For a brief moment, the world didn't see a Muslim child or a Hollywood actress. They saw two human beings connected through sorrow and empathy. That connection reminded us that suffering is universal, and so is compassion. In a time when media often focuses on divisions and conflict, this moment was a breath of truth. It reminded people that the pain of a Muslim girl is no different than that of any child, that grief doesn't need translation, and love doesn't need a label. Jolie didn't cry because of religious identity. She cried because her heart recognized a broken soul. This incident also challenged stereotypes. It showed the world a different narrative, one where a famous non-Husky woman defends, weeps for, and embraces the pain of a Muslim child. It shattered the walls of misunderstanding and highlighted the truth that compassion lives in all of us, regardless of our background. It was a powerful moment of unity, proof that in the face of real human suffering, hearts will always find their way to one another. What made this moment even more powerful was how it sparked not just emotion, but real action. After the video went viral, donations to refugee aid programs increased. Awareness campaigns about the plight of Muslim children in war zones gained momentum. People who had never thought deeply about the refugee crisis began to care. Schools showed the clip in classrooms. Community leaders referenced it in speeches. It became more than a story, it became a wake-up call. Angelina Jolie's tears were not just a personal reaction, they became a symbol of the empathy the world needs. They reminded us that silence in the face of suffering is dangerous. That real change begins when we allow ourselves to feel. And that even one sincere emotional response can inspire millions to take action. The Muslim girl whose voice touched Jolie's heart may never know how far her story traveled, but her quiet courage moved the world. She reminded us that every soul matters, and every child deserves a future filled with safety, love, and hope. That one conversation didn't just change Angelina, it stirred the conscience of millions, proving that one voice, when truly heard, can echo across the globe. In a world often overwhelmed by noise, politics, and headlines, sometimes it takes a single, heartfelt moment to remind us of what truly matters. When Angelina Jolie cried for that young Muslim girl, she didn't just shed tears. She opened the eyes of millions. It wasn't about religion, race, or status. It was about humanity, a moment of pure, unfiltered emotion, cut through the barriers we so often build and brought us back to something deeply real: compassion. This story isn't just about a celebrity or a refugee. It's about how one conversation, One honest, painful, beautiful exchange can awaken the world's heart. It's a call for all of us to listen more, feel more, and act with empathy. That little girl's story was powerful not because it was rare, but because it represented the unheard voices of so many children. And Angelina's tears reminded the world that those voices matter. Thank you for watching and sharing in this emotional journey. If this story moved you, let it move others too. Share it, talk about it, and let compassion be the bridge between hearts. Because when one heart cries with another, the world becomes just a little more human.